Now on CoastTV News.
All eyes on the Bay Bridge, a new report sounding alarms after the collapse of the Key Bridge last week. Deadly hit and run update, charges filed, a man in custody, and some details you just have to hear.
And you may have heard some rumbles of thunder continuing for tonight. We still have some lingering thunderstorms and some advisories to tell you about, and a few reports from the storm that you might want to hear about.
Attempted arson, the Maryland fire marshal asking the community for help after somebody tried to burn down this garage. And no trespassing, police protecting property in Ocean City.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Let's take a live look outside right now into Ocean City on what has been a stormy Wednesday. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with weather. It's our top story this evening. And while the worst of the storms have moved on, we still need to get an update from Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams.
It's kind of like the story, like the Energizer Bunny. This storm keeps going and going and going, but it's at least not as intense. So that's at least a bit of good news. Right now in Dover, we still have some rainfall and some slick roads that's happening right now. And that's actually remnants of what's happening throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula, to be honest. And we're expecting some hit and miss spot showers to continue even for tonight. And it's kind of ironic that's happening because most of the energy you think would have been used up with the previous tornadoes that we had, as well as supercell thunderstorms. But we still have wave upon wave of rain that's still making its way for us. Now, we also have a report from the National Weather Service, at least one hail report in the preliminary right now in Greenwood, reported almost an inch in diameter. That's actually happened about 5:30 in one of the storms that we were actively tracking. Now, we do have a coastal flood advisory that is in effect and has been reinitiated for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico. It stays in effect until 1 o'clock because of the significant waves and additional waves of rain that's actually headed in our direction. And as of right now, we're looking for the heaviest showers right now that's still pelting the scene for us in and around the Laurel and Seaford area, which is where we had the concern for tornadoes a little bit earlier today. We have some unconfirmed possible reports of tornado touchdowns, but it's still being investigated by the National Weather Service. Coming up, we're going to talk more about how much longer we have to deal with this wet, rainy pattern going into Thursday before we finally get a break and feel spring like it should be felt, with peace, with some sunshine and warmer weather. But for right now, back to you, Charlie.
That'd be nice, Paul. We're taking a live look right now at the Bay Bridge, and you can still see that the weather is having an impact, but that's not why we're actually focusing on the Bay Bridge. It's in our newscast tonight because the popular and well-traveled crossing was named in a story today in relation to the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. The disaster in Baltimore now has experts looking more closely at other bridges, including the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, which, along with the Crescent City connection in New Orleans, has been highlighted as potentially vulnerable. An engineering professor at the University of North Florida claims that the bridge is, quote, lacking in safety measures. Tuesday, the Maryland Transportation Authority said it's considering adding some protections to the Bay Bridge specifically to defend against something like the collision that brought down the Key Bridge last week. New tonight, we have an update on a hit-and-run case that left one man dead in Salisbury. Follow me on this for a minute. According to Maryland State Police, on March 27th, 64-year-old Thomas R. Atkins from Dover was working in a work zone when he was hit by a blue Jeep and later died from his injuries. 27-year-old Jamal Scarborough of Marion Station, Maryland, has been charged with multiple crimes. One of those includes causing a life-threatening injury while operating a vehicle in a criminally negligent manner. He's being held without bail. While the case is still under investigation, police say Scarborough swerved into the northbound lane to try to get past a work zone. He then swerved back into the southbound lane to avoid oncoming traffic. That's when he hit the victim. Scarborough then tried to take off, but an off-duty officer was right behind him when all this happened. He was chased down and ultimately arrested. Heading to Millsboro now, the town is looking to nail down its budget. Town council going to be meeting later this month to discuss and review the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025. This meeting is slated for April 23rd at noon. After 27 years of service, Fenwick Island Town Manager Pat Schumann, he's stepping into retirement. To commemorate her years of dedication, the town is hosting an open house at the town hall. on April 5th from 1 to 3 p.m. The new town manager, Lori D'Abbondanza, will step into her role officially on April 8th. New tonight, the judge presiding over Donald Trump's hush money case has rejected a bid to use presidential immunity as part of his defense. Judge Merchan also denied Trump's motion to delay the trial's start date until the U.S. Supreme Court rules on his immunity claims in a federal election interference case that's going on in Washington, D.C. The trial is centered around Trump's role in an alleged hush money payment made on his behalf to adult film star Stormy Daniels in the closing days of the 2016 presidential campaign. It's the first of his criminal cases to reach trial, and it is scheduled to start on tax day, April 15th.
I'm Mallory Metzner. Here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. Property and business owners in Ocean City can now enroll in the police department's trespass enforcement authorization program. This is for the Ocean City Police Department to enforce trespassing laws on enrolled properties as they see fit. A new fishing rule applies to striped bass caught recreationally in the Chesapeake Bay and its tidal tributaries. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources says striped bass must be between 19 and 24 inches starting May 16th. The Chincoteague Annual Easter Decoy and Art Festival People's Choice Award winners have been announced. Best Carver was awarded to Cork McGee, Best Photograph goes to Bob Shammerhorn, Nancy Richards-West wins Best Artist, and the Curtis Merritt Award of Excellence goes to Patrick Lieb. And that's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Mallory Metzner.
New tonight, a second suspect has been identified related to a shooting that happened earlier this year. The Laurel Police Department has been investigating a shooting that took place back on February 11th at the Carville Gardens apartment complex. In late March, suspect Branson Daniels was arrested in Ocean City. And then, as of Tuesday, police have now gotten a warrant for a 17-year-old male from Seaford. That 17-year-old was already in custody in Maryland for a different crime, but he's now going to be extradited to Delaware. This is an active investigation. Here's an update on the Berlin Smart Meter Replacement Project. We've covered this story a few times. Town-wide water meter replacement still underway. The town's water department says additional technicians have joined existing crews. That's to help accelerate the projected timeline for water meter replacement. Crews are continuing to work Monday through Friday. However, the town says weekend hours can be expected until that installation is complete. Staying in Berlin, the town has announced its spring bulk waste collection dates. Good opportunity to get through of a few things. There will be free curbside collections for homeowners on Wednesday, April 10th and Wednesday, April 17th. Collection limited to 4 items per household per collection date. The town says a box or a bag containing multiple items and weighing 50 pounds or less, that would be considered one item. The bodies of 7 aid workers killed in Gaza are beginning their journey back to their home countries today. This as the world presses Israel for answers on how this strike could have happened in the first place. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how tensions are rising, and so are the fears that this could escalate the war, which is adding political fallout for President Biden.
A rising drumbeat for accountability as the bodies of 7 aid workers killed in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza are returning to their home countries from the UK to Australia. The White House promising tough conversations with the Israeli government.
We want to make sure that civilians are kept safe, that are protected, and also folks who are providing humanitarian aid.
In his strongest condemnation yet, President Biden said he was outraged and heartbroken by the deaths of 7 humanitarian workers from World Central Kitchen, including 1 American. He called them brave and selfless and said Israel has not done enough to protect aid workers. Israel's top general releasing results of a preliminary investigation into the attack.
It was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in a very complex conditions.
He did not address World Central Kitchen's assertion that its workers coordinated their movements with the Israeli military in advance and traveled in clearly marked vehicles. The group's founder, Chef Jose Andres, urging Israel to stop blocking food deliveries to Gaza.
You cannot be targeting humanitarian. You cannot be targeting children. You cannot be fighting the basis of what humanity should be standing for.
President Biden did not answer shouted questions at an event today alongside Senator Bernie Sanders, who just yesterday highlighted the political pressure over the Biden administration's support for Israel.
Is it going to hurt the president unless he turns this around? Yeah, it will.
In primary elections last night, a significant number of Democrats voted uncommitted or uninstructed in protest. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We've got some business news for you. The U.S. economy added more jobs in March than the economists had expected. According to payroll processing firm ADP, private payrolls increased by 184,000 in March. In addition to the strong employment pickup, the firm reported that wages for workers who stayed in their jobs, those increased 5.1% from a year ago. Job gains were fairly broad-based, led by leisure and hospitality with 63,000 jobs. Most of the growth came from companies that employ more than 50 workers, with small businesses adding just 16,000 to the total. In regional news, Delaware Capitol Police are currently investigating a shots-fired complaint that happened outside of the Kent County Family Court in Dover. Police say that nobody was hurt and that the court operations were not impacted. There are no known threats to the public, and the police say this is an active and ongoing investigation. We have a report of attempted arson in Salisbury today. It's being investigated by the Maryland State Fire Marshal, but it happened here at the garage on South Park Drive. Now, as you can see, the garage still standing. Firefighters didn't even have to make the trip or an appearance. There was no damage. Owner Lisa Tilleman was the only person reported to be at the scene. The fire marshal is asking anybody with information about this attempted arson to give him a call. We have a phone number in our article on CoastTV.com. And we are just getting going this evening. Watch out for whales. A slow zone in Ocean City has been extended, what that means for boaters.
And right now we have the triple point of the frontal system and the storm system that's been causing us the misery throughout the day. And that's a fancy way of saying the center of the storm is moving on.
But next, Hotel Snag, a Margaritaville resort that's already out. Now a scaled down hotel facing legal trouble. We're going to be back in just 60 seconds.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Waikamaco Civic Center. Browse the largest display of hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, and swim spas in the region, with over 30 spas from 5 major brands at up to 50% off. That's this weekend at the Waikamaco Civic Center in Salisbury. Visit hottubmd.com.
It's that time of year again, where homeowners are power washing, staining, and replacing boards on their deck.
No one has time for that. With Paul Davis, our AZEK decks are cracked, fade, and insect resistant with a lifetime warranty.
Paul Davis makes it easy by bringing the showroom to you and giving you an estimate that same day. Paul Davis decks are beautiful.
Save Big 3 Ways is now extended. Get last year's pricing, pay nothing until 2025, and get a 10x10 outdoor gazebo free with your new deck through April 30th.
Call Paul Davis today for a free estimate.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Waikamaco Civic Center. Browse over 30 hot tubs and swim spas from 5 major brands at up to 50% off. Financing is available and show admission is free. That's this weekend at the Waikamaco Civic Center in Salisbury. Visit hottubmd.com.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
What was proposed to be the Margaritaville Hotel is being sized down to a smaller hotel to fit between 13th and 14th Street in Ocean City. We first brought you this story last night. But even though the site plan for the smaller hotel has been approved, some businesses around the area are pushing back. An appeal has been filed for the approved site plan. One of the issues brought up was the amount of parking. But Hugh Cropper, the attorney representing the future hotel developer, says there should be no problem with the plan as is.
The new hotel is very nice. It's a boardwalk oceanfront hotel. It's well designed. It's incredibly nice. It has amenities. It has accessory retail. It has accessory restaurant. It just doesn't, at this point, doesn't qualify as the destination resort that a Margaritaville would require.
There's no timeline yet for future hotels, and the appeals process still needs to come to a conclusion one way or another before any construction can begin. But this brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what is your main concern about the Margaritaville no longer coming to Ocean City, losing out on that? Let's take a look at the results. And lost jobs, that is far and away the winner here. It's got 65% of the vote. And lost entertainment, that comes in second at 27%. Everything else a distant third and fourth. But you still can vote if you'd like to. Go to CoastTV.com or use our Coast TV mobile app. NOAA Fisheries has announced an extension of a voluntary slow zone after right whales were detected in Ocean City. It's now in effect through April 10th. Mariners requested to avoid boating or do so at 10 knots or less when inside the areas where those right whales have been detected. And we have a list of that on CoastTV.com.
All right, we take a look at our severe weather threat. We're at a level of 1-4 tonight, which is the lowest level, so we still have at least a concern for the possibility of some scattered showers. But the majority of the most intense cells, they have moved on and out of the way, which is exactly how we'd like it. Now, we do have a couple of advisories I still need to pass along to you. Coastal flood advisory is in effect for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico. Now, this is primarily due to the additional rain that's on the way, and that's going to last until about 1 o'clock, just until late tonight, going to early tomorrow morning, when most of us are probably going to be asleep. Now, as we shift a little bit more to the north, we also have concerns for gusty winds along the coast. We have the reactivated small craft advisory for 25-mile-per-hour winds, and we see the rain that's moving throughout portions of Georgetown and going up towards Bridgeville and all that. That's going to stay active at least for the next half hour or so before it begins to really totally dry up. Here's a wider view of what's happening. Now, the oranges that you see around here, these are actually marine warnings, and they're really referring to thunderstorms over the water, but they're not really holding a whole lot of juice with them. We see the general pendulum of what's happening with this. We do have a hail report out of Greenwood, and that's actually close to about 1 inch in diameter with that hail that was reported about 5:30. But the National Weather Service is still surveying any kind of damage that we have. Now, when we have these kinds of storms, we have what's called a triple point. That's when you have the warm front, cold front, and this occluded front. That's that odd purple front that you see here. That's when air overlaps one another. And this is the central turning point, or this is kind of the key that unlocks the storm. Think of the triple point as a key that unlocks everything. Well, it unlocked it earlier today, so there's not much for it to dig into at this present time. We still have another cold front that's to our west that could swing some additional rain our way as we're going to Thursday, but it won't have as much punch this time around because it's used up all the juice in the atmosphere, so to speak. We're in the 40s right now, 50 in Bethany Beach, but we're at 48 in Lewis, as well as Rehoboth Beach, and 49 in Redden, and 49 right now in Milton. Dew point temperatures in the upper 40s as well. So we still have an abundance of moisture in the atmosphere, but since the temperatures are in the 40s, we simply don't have the energy that would give us the power we need to turn these scattered showers into thunderstorms or anything worse than that. Thursday morning, we start off near the 40-degree mark, either 1 degree above it or 1 degree below it, okay, in most locations. Scattered showers will push through. We'll have winds pushing out of the south. We'll see some spotty showers, but they won't last. And then Friday morning, we start off in the 30s for everybody. Friday's going to be colder, and we may get a cold sprinkle by Friday afternoon. Just be mindful of that. Winds are going to be another thing. Thursday afternoon, it's going to be breezy, about 36-mile-per-hour winds inland and 29 to 30-mile-per-hour winds for us along the shore. Remember, the solar eclipse is in 5 days, 5 days. And if you scan the QR code in the corner of the screen, you too can track the eclipse right along with us. It's got a lot of neat pictures and things, fun facts you never would think about as it pertains to the solar eclipse. And our UV index, courtesy of Face of Grace, well, it's going to be low for tomorrow because we're going to have a whole lot of clouds. So no burning, no problem. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling extended forecast. A few sprinkles on Thursday, but after that, we're okay. And next week, how about this? How about a real spring week where it's going to feel like spring?
I see that Tuesday temperature, Paul. And next, Clean the Beach, how you can do your best Captain Planet impersonation on Earth Day this month.
They're breaded in spicy tempura and made with cayenne. But most importantly, they're back.
Plus a hot new deal. 2 orders of 10-piece McNuggets for $6. Spicy or classic.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Sam Calagione here, inviting you to visit Dogfish this off-season. Enjoy daily specials at our locations like 12 wings for only $10 on Sundays and wood fire nights every Tuesday and Thursday in Rehoboth at Brewings and Eats. Or check out $15 lobsters on Lobster Sundays next door at Chesapeake and Maine. At Milton's Craft Brewery, visit us weekly for Monday trivia, Tuesday craft cocktail night, and more. Come explore goodness at our Dogfish locations this off-season. Cheers.
Shop fabulous, fun fashion at Twyla Farrell's in Lewis. Discover stylish and comfortable clothing and shoes from designers you know and love. For all budgets, shapes, and sizes. From head to toe, you can complete your look at Twyla's. We believe in building lasting relationships and always offer honest fashion advice. Come visit us for a unique shopping experience at Twyla Farrell. Open 7 days a week on 2nd Street in Lewis.
Taking you back to the decade of neon colors, big hair, and of course, great music. Join me, April, every morning at 8 a.m. on 107.1 The Duck as I play some of your favorite tunes from back in the day. It's April's Awesome 80s, sponsored by Easton Auto Care and Denton Auto Care and Tire.
Delmarva's hit music station, 102.5 WBOC.
This is your reminder to thank the friend who gets McDonald's breakfast for the group while everyone else sleeps in.
Get the sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.79 and an iced coffee for just 99 cents.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
Coastal communities are gearing up for Earth Day later this month. Mark your calendars for a cleanup event in Slaughter Beach. Denrex says volunteers can meet at the Slaughter Beach Pavilion on April 22nd. That is Earth Day, for an hour-long program that will be presented twice, once at 10 a.m., once at 1 p.m. Join DuPont Nature Center naturalists who will be searching for aquatic creatures and cleaning up a little trash along the way. Registration not required. The agency says trash bags and pickers, those are going to be provided. April is National Pickleball Month, so it's only fitting that Pickle Brawl is happening in one of our local communities. Dogfish Head is hosting the first ever event right here in Milton and transforming its parking lots into courts. The pickleball spots are all sold out already, but the brewery promises pickle-centric foods, beverages, including the release of a Pickle Brawl beer. That's hard to say. This is all happening from 11 to 5 on Saturday. Coming up in sports, a big day for college basketball stars, both at UMES and for the game's top female player. And next, nasty bugs, what to do if you're bitten by a tick, and what to know about these dangerous creepy crawlers if you live here in Sussex County.
We salute Johnny Hopkins of the Milton Fire Department, a dedicated individual with an exceptional record. From joining on January 13, 1992, he has held key positions, including Vice President and Assistant Treasurer. Johnny's leadership shines as he served as Fire Chief in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Throughout the years, he has taken on various roles like President, Deputy Chief, and Assistant Chief. With deep respect, we salute Johnny for his outstanding service to the Milton Fire Department.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Let the steam rise like the majestic Mount Fuji, unveiling a new ramen restaurant in Salisbury. The Fuji Ramen House is an adventure with each tantalizing bite. Enjoy your experience in a cozy Japanese-themed setting and indulge in mouth-watering appetizers, rice bowls, curry, and of course, our ramen. Handcrafted noodles simmering in a delicious broth with your choice of toppings. Elevate your taste to new heights and savor the umami flavors of authentic ramen at Fuji Ramen House, located behind East Moon.
You do game nights. You do dinners worth sharing. You do movie marathons. At Johnny Janosic Outlet and Clearance Center, we help you do you for less. Get this reclining sofa just $599.95. This twin bunk bed set just $549.95. Or this 7-piece dining set just $649.95. You know what you want, so you do you with a little help from Johnny Janosic Outlet and Clearance Center.
When you visit the Delmarva Design Center, you'll experience a selection of appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring all together in one showroom. The 10,000 square foot location has a variety of inspiring samples for any project size or budget. Your dedicated product experts and designers collaborate to bring your dream project to life. Come and see what the kitchen industry buzz is all about. Experience the Delmarva Design Center in Selbyville, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva's coast.
It's that time of year, spring, and with spring comes spring's greatest hits. You never know what life has in store, and when you need urgent medical care, your Doc's Inn is here for you. With extended hours, we operate on your schedule, so you can just walk in when you need us. Every Your Doc's Inn is equipped with on-site x-rays and labs to diagnose and treat you in one stop. You never know when you'll be one of spring's greatest hits, but if you are, remember, Your Doc's Inn. You'll love the way we care for you.
Stay ahead of our ever-changing coastal climate with the Coast TV First Alert Weather Team. From the early morning to the late evening, our team is always at work to deliver the accurate forecasts you need. Whether bracing for a stormy day or enjoying a peaceful indoor moment, we're here to ensure you're fully prepared for Delmarva's diverse weather patterns. The Coast TV First Alert Weather Team. With us, the weather is more than a forecast. It's a part of life.
In health news, they're mistakenly thought to be insects, but ticks, actually arachnids, a relative of spiders, and they can transmit dangerous diseases to humans. That's why you want to avoid getting bitten if you can. And here is the bad news. They are already out, earlier than usual. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on what to expect for the 2024 tick season and how to stay protected.
In the U.S., tick season usually peaks between May and July and then again in the fall. But it's April and the creatures are already out.
They are hungry, so they are looking for their first meal of the year, and they do pose that risk of transmitting infection.
Dr. Bobby Pritt with Mayo Clinic says you can help prevent tick bites. Check your body often, especially after being outdoors. Wear long sleeves and pants and tuck those pants into socks, giving ticks less skin they can bite. And make sure to wear bug spray.
Usually we look for tick repellents that have at least 30% DEET, but there are other chemicals, picaridin, is a very good repellent.
If you do get bitten, Pritt says to not panic. Remove the tick as quickly as possible.
The best way to do that is with tweezers that you can use close to the skin, as close as possible. Grasp the head of the tick as it's going into the skin and just pull it out in a slow, continuous motion, taking care to not squeeze the tick or breaking off the mouth parts if you can help it.
Pritt says if you live in an area where Lyme disease is present and find a swollen tick attached to your skin, consider seeing a doctor, especially if it's been attached for 36 hours or more.
Your doctor can prescribe antibiotics to prevent Lyme disease.
And be aware of the symptoms of Lyme disease, including fever, body aches and pains, upset stomach, severe headache, and fatigue. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Pritt says to avoid home remedies that could make matters worse. That includes smothering a tick with Vaseline or using a match. She says that'll irritate the skin and the tick and potentially increase the risk of infection. So what do you need to know about ticks here in Delaware? Well, according to DENREC, in this part of the country, ticks aren't just a problem during the peak season. They're around and on the hunt all year. When compared to the rest of the state, Sussex County, it is a hotbed for these little biters. Most bites actually happen right in your own backyard, so be vigilant about checking yourself and wearing that bug spray. And remember, ticks go after kids and pets too, so you need to check your mini-me's and furry friends on the regular.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Another rain out tonight on Delmarva, but still plenty to get you caught up on in the sports world. Let's start in Princess Anne. UMass transfer Devon Ellis is headed to the Missouri Valley Conference. The Hawks' second leading scorer committed to Valparaiso earlier today. The former JUCO product averaged 11.6 points per game this year, including a season-high 22 against Morgan State. Ellis is the sixth member of the program to hit the portal since the end of the 2024 season. Over women's hoops, Iowa's Caitlin Clark repeats as the Naismith Player of the Year. She's the first player to win back-to-back honors since UConn's Brianna Stewart in 2016. Clark becomes the 7th player to win multiple Naismith trophies, a list that includes former Virginia guard Dawn Staley, who just captured her 3rd straight Naismith Coach of the Year honor with South Carolina. Both the Gamecocks and Hawkeyes play on Friday for a chance to meet each other in the national title on Sunday. And Jerry West is entering the Basketball Hall of Fame for a 3rd time. First as a player, then as a U.S. Olympian, and now as a contributor for his illustrious post-playing career as a general manager and consultant. West won 8 titles in his time as a front office man and captured 2 Executive of the Year honors. That's it for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Pups and Pints, the barking, very good event that you can attend this weekend, and why you might walk away with a new furry friend.
NBC Nightly News, weeknights at 6:30 on CoastTV.
Etorn by Lewis.
Visit our unique shops and restaurants.
The Brush Factory is the area's premier destination for the unique and unusual for home, garden, and you. Come support our 60-plus local merchants and artists.
Discover the taste of the Mediterranean at Olive & Oats Cafe. Start your day with breakfast delights, specialty coffees, and flavorful lunches in our cozy setting.
Cape May Lewis Ferry is sailing daily year-round and is ready to welcome you aboard. Gift cards and departure schedules available online at cmlf.com.
Come explore.
Historic Lewis.
Toyota is going all wheels in with fantastic deals on thousands of in-stock Toyotas ready for delivery. So visit your local dealer today for a great selection of front, 4, and all-wheel drive vehicles. Right now, get low 4.75% APR on a sporty Camry or stylish Corolla. Get fantastic deals when you go all wheels in on your new Toyota. Let's go places.
Positive, focused.
Supportive and goal-oriented. These are just a few qualities of coaches who inspire their athletes.
Each month, the Preston Automotive Group will select a coach who makes a difference and make a $500 donation to their organization. Then at the end of the year, 3 of these coaches will receive an extra donation to their program.
Nominate your coach today at DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com under the Features tab.
Delmarva Sports Network Coach Who Makes a Difference. Brought to you by Preston Automotive Group.
Nearly 30 years ago, Mediacom was founded on a powerful idea: bring cutting-edge broadband to underserved communities. From coast to coast, we connected 850,000 miles of fiber. Our team broke speed barriers, delivered 1 gig speeds to every customer, has led the way in developing a 10G platform, and now with Mediacom Mobile is offering the fastest, most reliable network on the go. Mediacom, decades of dedication, decades of delivery, decades ahead.
Taking you back to the decade of neon colors, big hair, and of course, great music. Join me, April, every morning at 8 a.m. on 107.1 The Duck as I play some of your favorite tunes from back in the day. It's April's Awesome 80s, sponsored by Easton Auto Care and Denton Auto Care and Tire.
We're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
Pet vendors and adorable adoptable dogs, they're coming to the Dewey Beer Company in Harbison this weekend, hoping to find a new family to go home with. Pups and Pints. It's hosted by the Parker Group, a local real estate brokerage who will be waiving adoption fees. The event is Saturday from noon to 4.
You almost got me, Charlie. You almost got me to get the dog when they put pints and puppies. That pints thing, you almost got me. All right, John Neal, 4K. Forsott, well, John, you won, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Don't forget, our weather is just a phone call away. It's sponsored by Baird, Mandalis, Brockstedt, and Federico. Our Tyndall's Furniture and Laurel. Wanted to show Laurel we still have some scattered showers there with temperatures in the 40s, but we'll still see some rain probably lingering on until about 2 o'clock. And this is a look at that rain as it begins to shift across Delmarva. We're not done with the rain, but at least we're done with the storms. Here's a look at your exclusive Paul Davis Restoration 10-day forecast. A few sprinkles for Thursday, but that's it. This is where we're looking at the eclipse. But then next week, finally, spring temps.
I like that. Thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. That's up next. And we're going to see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.